Yellow tinted lenses and a pink gelato. Falling out the window, hit me back tomorrow. Will always be the one tough fact to follow. Cause we aiming for the stars with a point and hollow. Feeling these songs, making jokes and cuddles.
Oh my god, didn't see you guys there. Hello! No, I'm kidding. Hey guys, welcome back. It's episode 2 of Out Loud with Leah. Super excited, as always. Today, we're going to go through the same stuff. You guys know, music and whatnot, what's happening, what's been going on since the last time I made an episode. But I'm really excited about today because I have some friends joining. A couple weeks ago, I sat down with some of my girls, my friend Marquise, and we talked about relationships and black relationships. So stay tuned for that. Watch all the way to the end because they had some real knowledge and it was real juicy and it was just a good, authentic, fun conversation. And I think, especially as a young black woman, it was just interesting to get different perspectives of what I've already been feeling or something that I thought that not everyone agrees with. So stay tuned for that. Now, let's get into the song of the week. I came in doing a jig to my new jam. Like how that sound, jig to my new jam. Cold War by a new artist, Cautious Clay, 24 years old. He sings, he writes, he produces, and I'm really excited for this guy's future because he is definitely talented and his music is definitely melodic and soulful, and it's very intrinsic to me because he does have a background. He plays the flute and the saxophone. He also has said that he dabbles in like the keys, bass, drums. So you really see his appreciation for instruments in his production. But he also has a fine line too where he also is really lyrical. He actually has been producing for 6-7 years now, but he's just now starting to get a little bit more critically acclaimed. His song, Cold War, the song we're talking about this week, was featured on Issa Rae's Insecure. It was on the premiere episode, and that's kind of how I got intro to Cautious Clay. Because I heard it there, loved the sound. The beat is what got me at first. Like you heard it at the beginning of the episode, but you also see the video and can hear it again. But that's what got me first. And then I went to Spotify, you know, the typical consumer journey for people who love music. You hear a song and you go try to find their album and other bodies of work. And I just fell in love with the whole album. He has an album out, it's called Blood Type. He has a lot of good songs on the album. Juliet and Caesar, Silos, Stolen Moments, Joshua Tree, and those are just to name a few of my favorites outside of Cold War. And the album's not that long, so basically I love the whole album. But like I was saying, like his attention to detail and that fine line that he delivers between lyricism and production is what I really appreciate and why I've kind of been drawn to him as an artist and will continue to follow his development and like whatever he does in the future. And in Cold War is just another perfect example of that, where you don't just get that beat that's kind of has a good soulful kind of hip hop feel to it, but there's also lyrics and there's meaning that most people can relate to. And in a Billboard interview that he recently did, he said that he wants his listeners to be more intentional about how they spend their time and who they spend it with, essentially. So I thought that was interesting just because like it comes to life and you see it, and I thought he did a great job of portraying it. That's what he wants his listeners to get. I think he's done a good job at portraying it. Cold War is a great visualization of being young in your 20s, trying to figure out how to be committed to oneself and then being committed to someone else that you love, and your dreams and being in a committed relationship, and how do you balance it all, and like do you stay in a relationship because you love someone even if it's not working, and how what it feels like to grow apart from a partner, and just kind of with social media and technology and how we're not connected as past generations because we're always so multitasking. And can you multitask and still be engaged and be present? So I think the video does a great job of kind of bringing that message and showing that daily struggle for everyone in our day and age right now, bringing that to life in a simple but very tactful and special way. So definitely check it out. I think you guys will enjoy it. And yeah, Cold War by Cautious Clay, everyone. Wait, pause. sorry, I forgot to tell you guys, he actually directed this video as well. So he's very talented, very artistic, and like I said, I can't wait to see what he does. I'm definitely gonna be keeping my eye on him to see what he continues to do. But anyways, back to the video.
Yellow tinted lenses in a pink gelato. Falling out the window, hit me back tomorrow. Will always be the one tough fact to follow. Cause we aiming for the stars with a point and hollow. Feeling these songs, making jokes and cuddles. Started this job selling rocks and dollars. Cause they only swipe right if you fuck for follows. Welcome to the days of the broken shallow. But if we just spoke like we meant to, would you reference this open part of me? The minute I know the time we spent there came corrected in my anatomy. Matter of a mind if we're being honest. But you wander through your thoughts like a broken promise. In it for the monetary growth of power. But we divided at the bottom of this whiskey sour. So leave it on the table if you're hot and bothered. Tell me if you mean it, baby, who's the father? The stories of a land we divide and conquer. You really showing me the meaning of a losing offer. But if we just spoke like we meant to, would you reference this open part of me? The minute I know the time we spent there came corrected in my anatomy.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and like I said, definitely keep your eye out for him. He's a talented young man, and I think he's going to continue to do great things and make good music for us all to listen to. So, and now I want to talk about, before we get to my favorite part of this episode, you guys get to meet my friends and we talk about relationships and whatnot. I want to talk about Kanye West and Donald Trump. Everyone saw it, everyone's been talking about it, and for people who know me and for you guys who don't, I'm a big fan of Kanye West. Kanye West, I've always been a fan of that man. I think he's a talented artist, and I feel like he's always been a crucial element to our culture and talking about things in his music that we talk about in the Black community. However, in the recent years and definitely in the recent months, he's been saying things and doing things that have been questionable, and I'm not badgering anyone who has said or no longer feels the same allegiance to Kanye West. People are saying they're no longer fans, people don't support his music anymore. I get it. But what troubles me, and this is my personal opinion, is that I don't think that he really supports Donald Trump. I don't think that he is turning his back on his people, his culture. I don't think that he's forgot where he's come from. I don't think that he has lost sight of the Black plight in America. What I think is that he has a mental problem, and I think that should be the discussion. And after what I witnessed when watching the video of Kanye West in the White House, you couldn't tell me that that wasn't a manic episode. And after doing more research on bipolar disorder, and after speaking with someone who actually suffers with the disorder, I have really come to terms in my mind, and I truly strongly feel that that was a manic episode that was displayed in the White House. And when you look up manic depression, a lot of the symptoms are elevated self-esteem, hard time like sticking to one thought, like racing thoughts, short attention span, a feel of euphoria or feeling on top of the world. And when he said, when he puts on the MAGA hat, he feels like he's on top of the world, he's his favorite superhero, Superman. And this, like, just his demeanor and his mannerisms and his hand gestures, just, he didn't seem like a man in his right mind. He was rambling. What he was saying didn't make sense. One minute he was talking about the plane, the iPhone, or the iPlane 1. Then he was talking about being Superman. He was talking about how he looks up to Donald Trump and talking about Donald Trump. And everything was just like, it was like, to me, it sounded like it was nonsense. It was nothing was cohesive. They weren't talking what he was there to talk about, which was African American employment and prison reform and things like that. That really wasn't the topic. It was just all over the place. And I really believe as I watched it, I was like, this man has a mental problem that I feel like needs to be the bigger conversation. And I feel like the biggest conversation right now around Kanye West is that he has turned his back on Black people, that he is trying to kiss up to Donald Trump for his own personal agenda, that he's forgotten where he's come from and things like that. And I truly don't think that's what we're witnessing. Because he is famous and his life is so open to the public, we're just watching a man rattling, diminishing in front of us, but that's not the conversation. And I think that needs to be the conversation. And in the Black community, we already have a problem with depression and mental disorders because we like to pretend that it's not a thing. That's been for generation after generation. We push mental problems under the rug and change to what they aren't. And right now, Kanye West, that is a mental problem. But we're changing it to a whole nother topic. So I just want to talk about that because I felt strongly about it, and I think that the conversation has been heavily skewed another way, and I would like to just kind of start hearing more other perspectives. And there's more people out there, there's more of you who know more about bipolar disorder and other mental disorders. So I would love to hear you guys weigh in, and maybe you guys don't buy that it's a mental thing, that he really is like a sellout or whatever it is. So definitely reach out to me on social media or whatever, and let's get the conversation started, and I would love to hear what you guys think. I have bad knees, guys, so I had to switch it up a little bit. But anyways, in recent news that actually has me excited, feeling good, and feeling empowered, feeling strong, is Rihanna. The goddess herself was blessed us with music, makeup for women of color, sassiness, fierceness, beautifulness, not a word, but Rihanna is not a woman, she is a goddess. She has me excited because she refused to play at the Super Bowl this year. She got offered the gig and she said, hell no, because she stands with Kaepernick. The NFL is an organization who does not support Black people, and she refused to be a part of it and help them garner more millions and billions of dollars through advertisements and all the people who are going to tune in to watch her, because they don't stand up for our rights, so why would she stand up for their money? So I'm super excited about that, and I just want to, for people who maybe have missed it, let you guys know that Rihanna's out here fighting the good fight. Now, for me, there's a question when you're being an artist, and it's like the responsibility you have to social good in our society. And a lot of times, artists do get flack for maybe not speaking up when it comes to social justice and things like that. And I feel like a lot of times, maybe artists are afraid that, you know, they can't be too vocal because then they might start losing opportunities and endorsements and money. And I totally get that, but I think especially when you're at a stage like Rihanna, where you already have your fan base established, you already continue to keep raking in dollars, you should be making stances like that because you have such a voice, such a strong voice, and so many people follow you. Why would you not use your platform to further our endeavors as a culture and as a people? So I'm really happy. Thank you so much, Rihanna, and I really would love to see more artists and more people with her kind of platform do things and take stands like this. And again, shout out to Colin Kaepernick for what he's doing, and Nike and all the progressive organizations that we spend and give all our money to actually stand up for us. I think it's important and it's great to see, and I hope hopefully this trend continues and continue to see people with the power and the money and the voice, you know, stand up for us, stand up for our people, because we're watching them all the time. We're giving them our money. I think it is their civic duty, and I'm just so proud of Rihanna and so proud of people like her every day fighting the good fight and sacrificing and speaking up or kneeling and doing whatever they have to do to try to make our world a better place, because so many people are against us and we have to stand together, and that's just the matter of fact. But before we wrap and we head on over to the other room with my friends where I sat down and talked to them a couple weeks ago, I wanted to talk about the music that came out this month. I mean, I have a song of the week, which was Cautious Clay, but there were so many albums that dropped this month. I just want to let you guys know, just in case you kind of been living under a rock. I'm just kidding. I know a lot of people are busy with work and school and kids and relationships. Sometimes I can't listen to all the new music that comes out. So just to name a few, I actually wrote some of them down because there were so many I couldn't really keep a list. I would have been stumbling and mumbling and whatnot. But Bobby Raps dropped Weird Little Ward. Dom Kennedy dropped Volume 2. Rich Homie Quan dropped The Gift. Soulja Boy, and yeah, Soulja Boy dropped Young Draco. Marky Basie dropped Postmodern Depression. I don't know if a lot of people listen to him, but I've listened to him for about a year now. He makes some good stuff. Sheck West dropped Mud Boy, T.I. Now, again, not everyone knows me who watches this, so I used to, I'm still a fan, but I used to love T.I. back in the day. And a little funny story is when I was in 8th grade, I went to his concert, and I was going so hard to What You Know About That, my arm popped out the socket. So yeah, I used to go hard for T.I. But Dime Trap, I thought it was pretty good. He hadn't dropped anything in a while, so I was excited. And my favorite song on that album is The Weeknd with Young Thug, so I'm a big Young Thug fan. LMA dropped an album called, her self-entitled album, LMA. Usher and Zaytoven dropped a project called A. Jacquees, and I know you guys probably been hearing about the LMA Jacquees debacle, but he dropped Q Mix 3, and hopefully he doesn't have any LMA songs on it. Future and Juice WRLD dropped a project called Future and Juice WRLD Present World on Drugs. Jesse Reyes dropped Being Human in Public. Khalid dropped Sun City. Lil Baby and Gunna dropped Drip Harder. And Quavo dropped Quavo Honcho, and that's just covering the hip hop and R&B realm. So there's so much good music out there, so hard to keep track of it all. So definitely let me know if I missed something that you guys are listening to that I definitely need to be aware of that came out. Because again, I love music and I love to know what's new. So let me know, because I can't keep track of everything. But I actually have been listening to an album that came out in September, and that's Black's East Atlanta Love Letter. And I wasn't really a big Black fan before. I mean, I saw him in concert at Governor's Ball. He was really good, but I wasn't really checking for it. I just kind of stumbled upon his song with Khalid and called Seasons, and I really like that. So I'm gonna listen to the album. And since then, I've been listening to it every single day. My favorite song is Pretty Little Fears with J. Cole. Definitely check that out. Yeah, that's just, I don't know, I just want to throw it out there because again, there's so much good music. I want you guys to know about it and listen to it and enjoy it. Let it entice and elevate your life. I don't know, music is good, we love it. So I'm also gonna do the quote early because again, like I've been mentioning and prefacing throughout the show, is that I have a segment with some of my friends where we're talking about relationships. So for this episode, I'm not gonna do the quote at the very end. I'm gonna leave it on that because there's so much good juice. I want you guys to have some food for thought to leave the episode with. So the quote this week was inspired kind of by my personal life, which is most episodes are inspired by, because I'm kind of at the point, I'm 25 years old and I've been kind of feeling like I'm at a standstill. Things aren't going bad, but they aren't going good, and I'm just kind of like, what am I doing? I guess that's kind of why, but maybe that's why I've been kind of connecting a lot with Cautious Clay's music, because that internal battle with yourself, especially at this time in life where you don't really know where you're going. I'm recently single. In my job, I'm not happy in my position, so I'm trying to transition out of it and do something that more excites me and I'm passionate about, and where I want to take that, like my corporate America kind of journey, where I want to take that for the time being. And a lot of it's just kind of not going the way I want to go. But in a time where it's confusing and I'm not really sure what's next, I have to remind myself that I control my life, and I do believe everything happens for a reason, and I do believe in destiny and that kind of thing, like our path is already paved. But I also believe that I still have control over it. So the quote for you guys, and especially if anybody who is going through a similar situation, which I know is a very common thing to go through, like just life in general. You're always gonna be at that point in the crossroad where it's like, where do I go next? What am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? But the quote I'm gonna leave you guys with for this week is, you are your only limit. When you're confused and you don't know what's up and what's down, it doesn't matter. Take some time, figure it out, take a step back. Perspective is everything, but just remember that you are in control, and if you want to go higher and go bigger, you are the only person standing in your way. So again, the quote for this week is, you are your only limit. And I'm reminding myself that every day, and I remind myself that if I want to get out of this rut that I'm in right now, I have to stand up and I have to make decisions and do some things that may not be, I might not know what the outcome is going to be, but I can't stand in my own way. I'm my greatest asset. You are your greatest asset. So take that quote and enjoy it. And actually I have another one for you, because I just realized that my shirt is actually a quote. It says, let every moment inspire you. So now I have 2 quotes for the week to kind of take you and guide you. But now let's go over to the segment where my friends Andrea, Karen, and Marquise took the time out of their lives to sit down with me and talk everything from love, black love, relationships, money, living in New York City, being young, all that. It was so fun. It was a great conversation. They brought their true authentic selves, and the conversation was very deep and juicy. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys again next time we do another episode. See you later. Guys, thanks for coming. I'm so excited to have you guys on Out Loud with Leah. Yes, it's gonna be a good time. We got wine, we got perspective, we got everything we need. But I think I'm gonna do some introductions. Okay. I'm gonna start with Andrea, or do you want to start, Marquise? Let's go with Andrea.
Hi guys.
This is Andrea Counts. She is one of my coworkers. She is also a makeup artist. We will plug her at the end.
Yes, book me.
She was here to add her little spice. Yes, she's born and raised in New York City.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here, and let's get the show on the road. So.
All right, we got Karen. Do you want to introduce yourself, or?
Sure. I'm a lawyer and a writer and a philanthropist living in New York City from Virginia. Happy to be here to share my perspective.
Yeah, thank you for coming, Karen.
And you guys can plug me after as well. I have a new blog.
And we'll be plugging that at the end. We'll have all their social channels, websites, all that at the end. And let's go on to you, Marquise.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm kind of a jokester. I'm a
comedian, actually,
I love
right?
to be a local comedian. I try. But I'm from Maryland as well, so here we are. Out Loud with Leah.
Let's go.
So you've been in New York how many years, just to set the context?
For about 6 years.
About 6 years, and you've been here for?
About 10 years.
About 10, I've been here about 3, and Andrea been here her whole life. So the topic today is going to be black relationships. Recently I was just reading an article that black women are 20% less likely to get married. So we kind of want to explore that than their white female counterparts. So we kind of explore that a little bit more in depth about what we think the problem is. Right. Is it different from New York to other cities, states, and what have you? So my first question I want to say is just kind of, what has been your experience dating in New York City?
Stressful.
Hello.
I have to put it in one word.
Everybody got to drink on that.
Very, very stressful. I'm sure you all have your own stories, but it's hard catching up with people around here. Everyone's so fast, just like the city, and to find anything authentic, I find that I have to go out elsewhere.
Right.
Elsewhere.
I heard Chicago is really good for dating.
Really?
Great. That is on my to-do list.
That is interesting.
Yeah, because their cuffing season lasts way longer.
Oh no.
So like they're cold and indoors for a lot longer. They need some companionship. That's what I heard.
I'm going to do some research.
That's interesting.
Right.
I'm from Minnesota, and I have more black friends who are married in Minnesota than I do here, of course. But overall, the stats aren't just for New York City, though. It's over in the whole country. So even though, you know, it is harder in New York City, we add people here are more career oriented, we're fast paced, like we're thinking about our futures, we don't really have time to settle down. It's still nowhere in America are black women getting married or relationships as much as white women.
Yes, amen to that. That's very true.
So I just want to feel, my other question is, like, what impact do you think, like growing up, childhood, those kind of things impact how you interact with the opposite sex? Like, that was deep.
That was real deep. I need another drink, girl.
Do you think it's the men or the women? Do you think it's like a psychological thing?
Ooh, that was deep.
I'll say this. I think there are a lot of black women who really want to be with a black man. Mm-hmm. And so black women outnumber black men by quite a large gap. So if you just start with those numbers, there's way more black women for the black men that are available. So if all of them are waiting for a black man, some of them aren't going to get married because there aren't enough black men to go around for how many single black women there are. So I think one of the major issues is that black women need to be a little bit more open-minded to not necessarily just ending up with a black man because there are less of them. So just the numbers game itself, there's always going to be black women left over. Because
how many times have you heard your like niggas ain't shit?
Right.
From your mom to your grandma.
Right. Forever.
So everybody's telling you this. And then you go out there, you're being young, you're both young, but you're like, oh wait, our niggas really not shit because you've heard this your whole life and you're dealing with it. And it might just be an age thing, like everyone's young, everyone goes to kind of the same thing, no matter black, white, whatever. But for us, I think it's just that added layer of what our history and our upbringing. No matter how, even if you came from a two-parent home, you had an auntie, you had somebody just always heard like, oh, he don't take care of his kids. There's a baby daddy, and there's a baby mama drama, and there's just all this stuff. And I think that's why too. Then I think we associate education with like being different from all that other stuff that we grew up hearing about. So that's when like, oh, you can't even think about going with like, I don't even know what it's called. Like people like my plumber, or do construction, or like
a plumber,
like white collar, blue collar. I don't know. But I'm saying I think that we have these just subconsciously, plus just like our regular expectations of just being a woman, where what you want someone to provide, but to us it has to look like this, or it's not right.
And that goes back to the shortage of black men for black women. It's like, you know, women put these standards on men, and so if you take your mind out of thinking like, oh, this is what I need, or you could have a man who works 24/7 and, you know, provides for the family, but oh, he don't take me out enough, and it's just like, okay, well, what do you want? Like, what are your priorities in a relationship?
I was not raised with being told that at all. I think from my perspective, I very much was raised with like a very romantic ideal of relationships and men, and it was probably more akin to like the white standard of like, you know, watching these movies and growing up and like, you know, the man falls in love and then he like brings her flowers at the end and blah blah blah. Like I really subscribed to that, and my parents kind of lived that themselves, so I never really heard that that wasn't possible. And I think that it's just been interesting to come into the reality of the fact that that's not really how things work. So for me, it wasn't like I've heard that.
But so that's not because sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. That's okay. Are you done? I'm sorry. No, because what I was saying is not like that we're all raised to think that it couldn't happen. Because my parents divorced when I was in 4th grade, so I didn't grow up in like a 2-person household, but they both co-parented. Like they both, my dad and mom always expressed like, don't be like us, and like you deserve somebody who supports you, who whatever values you, cherishes you. I know the worth of me as a woman that was talking about both my father and my mother, and I think that's very important for women growing up. You have to know your worth to be able to love another man. But I think again, you said like you grew up to this white idealistic thing. On movies, most of the romantic love stories, and I'm a sucker for rom-coms. Like me and my sister, like we love. I broke up with one of my boyfriends. Like I want to love like that. Like we ain't got it. But it was always we're the few like love and basketball and that kind of stuff. But a lot of the stuff that we grew up watching was white. So I'm saying we're just not even those messages. Even the messaging. Right. And then we're even simply like, even if it wasn't even in your specific house to say like, oh, black guys aren't shit and whatever. So there's still these messages, not that many. Like that's why I feel we just cling on to the Barack Obamas and Michelle, like real people that are of color who love each other and are successful and whatnot. So I just think it's just these messages around it all around.
Yeah, we don't have enough, so that's a problem as well.
Yeah.
And it definitely comes from sometimes it definitely comes from like broken homes and things like that. Like I feel like, not to bash, all men. I feel like sometimes things it's deep, deep within. Like maybe they didn't see, a good man, treating their mother well, and maybe they don't know how to treat a woman or approach women, So I'm not making that an excuse. I'm just saying it comes deeper. And then even with women, like sometimes we don't, we didn't see a good example, being brought up or whatever case may be, and we don't know what to look for in a good man. So it's just very deep. I feel like with everything. So.
No, that's for sure. There's so many layers. I think there's just like the psychological thing. There's just like the outside social factors.
For sure.
Just individuals in general, like what you want to be and what you want in your partners, like unrealistic expectations and whatnot.
Right.
Do you guys believe in like soulmates and that kind of?
Give it a drink.
I do. I
Me
think
too.
There is someone or persons out there that you connect with on a different level than you do anyone else.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. I don't think it always comes in like relationships or like intimate relationships.
Yeah,
I feel like
friends.
it comes with like friendships and other types of relationships that you may not like think about on a daily basis. But like when you see someone that like genuinely makes you happy, or you like look for them and like think about them often, I feel like that.
Your soulmate, Marquis.
On good days.
Yeah, I definitely believe in soulmates. It's an amazing thing. It's a beautiful thing. If you have one, if you ever felt that, I think it's deep. And I feel like with your soulmate, you don't have to always agree and be, everything don't have to be beautiful and peaches and green. Sometimes it's gonna be hard, but you're always gonna have that connection. Soulmates, I definitely believe in it. I definitely do. I don't know if I met mine before. I think I did. I think
you met your soulmate before?
I did. It always don't work out, but the connection is always gonna be there.
Exactly.
It's that person where like, if I don't feel that spark, that connection, I don't know how it was gonna work, because I'm just so deep on connections. Like even with my friends, if I don't feel no connection, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing to go from here. So yeah, it's pretty deep for me.
Okay.
We'll be here all day.
What about your parents?
I mean, I've read a lot about soulmates, and what I like, one of the perspectives that I like is that soulmates actually aren't the people that you end up with. They're the people who move you back to yourself, or they move you through a certain period, like you grow and change and are never the same after them coming into your life. But that sometimes that's such a powerful, they're such powerful change agents that they're not always able to stay with you because it's such a volatile kind of transformative experience that they're kind of meant to come bless you in this way and then go their separate ways, which is romantic too. The way there's a wedding.
Wait, let's listen to
Right, so like
you kind of meet those people where it's like you feel like you know them before, or like there's just some sort of connection, and it's really beautiful, and then you're able to get close really quickly because of that. But because it's such a powerful force between you two, sometimes it's just not going to work out in terms of like an everyday for the next 60 years. Like it's meant to be this very special, limited period.
Right.
And then it's like something you'll never forget. But it doesn't mean you're not going to move on and get married to someone amazing who you would not have married had it not been for this person coming in, changing you in a way where now you know what it's like to be truly loved, or like where now you really know that like you're not going to settle for less than, that's I think what a soulmate is. It's not necessarily the person you're meant to end up with.
So you think you met your soulmate, Karen? That was good.
beautiful.
So I don't think there's just one.
So we just ended up on soulmates. Ladies, Marquise, I have to ask the question because we're on the topic.
Okay.
Why do you think that you're single?
Ooh, that's a loaded question.
Is that a loaded question? We talked about the topic, the mindsets. Like, I want to know.
Well, glad you go first, Kanye.
Okay. It's a choice. It's a choice. It's honestly a choice. I enjoy my life and my schedule and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not ready to compromise like having to deal with somebody else or their time and stuff like that. Like I'm trying to master my life.
Do you have a timeline in mind?
Do I have a timeline?
Yeah,
No.
for like when you want to start thinking like about settling down?
No time soon. I'm just, I enjoy like want to work.
Playboy.
No, I just enjoy like
Playboy.
my flexibility. I'm not ready to get into something and like not do it 100%. So I just would rather not do it at all.
That's a good point.
So.
Nice. That was cute.
I just said no time soon.
Right. I mean, well, I've been single for about 2 years now, and it was a choice for a long time because I got out of a long-term relationship, whatever, and I feel like I needed some time to heal, which most of us do not do. I don't do the, go from one relationship to the other, because that's setting yourself up for failure in my eyes. Then I was also told by my friends that I don't put myself out there enough. Like when I'm out, I just like stay to my friends or I dance with myself. And I just be like, I don't socialize a lot with other people. And I actually caught on to that because last night I was doing the same thing. I was just like doing my own thing with my girls and I just wasn't, engaging with any men. So I think that I am ready to get back, out there and start dating again. It's just, I think it's me, like like I said, connection is real big for me, you know what I mean? Like, it just have to be like sparks, passion, like, gotta be some type of connection there for me to even get my attention, like something. Yeah. And, a couple guys that I met before, I didn't feel nothing. And now I'm just like, kind of bored.
Yeah, I think
so it's like I want to be back in a relationship now because I'm ready, but it's like y'all niggas is boring. Like let's be real.
Let's get on the niggas. Let
me just like
came on the combo and let me tell you. I hope the dude don't watch this because that's gonna be awkward.
I mean, not all you guys. I mean, but a lot of the guys, I feel like it's boring. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm tired of what you doing.
It's all the same.
It's all the same. What you doing? What you doing?
The same shit I was doing 10 minutes ago. What do you want to do?
What do you want to do? Where you want to go?
What do you want to do?
No, can we talk about something? Can you stimulate my mind? Something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
when they plan the date, but it's like, but where do you want to go?
Right.
Like, what do you want to do? Well, what I want is for you to plan something and tell me what time,
what we do,
and where, and I'll show up.
So if he was to plan something that you didn't want to do, would you still go?
Oh yeah, I would.
I would just be happy he made the effort, but typically it doesn't end up being a situation where I don't want to do it because they put some thought into it, into like the conversations we've had, or even if it's just eating, like everybody gotta eat. Like even if it's just a place to have dinner,
right. Another thing,
and that's another thing. Like I get what you're saying because it just seems like it's repetitive, that there's a lot of there's like a lack of effort and it's so repetitive and it's very boring.
It's boring.
You lose interest very quickly because you're just like, if you're not gonna put in any effort, why am I?
Tell me this, like, what are dates looking for? Because personally, like, I was texting this dude, we went out for some drinks once. Cool, no big deal, we both worked. Next time we get drinks again. The third time, I don't want no more drinks.
Right. I'm tired of
because to me, if you keep asking me for drinks and we're just getting drinks, that you think I'm gonna get drunk and have sex with you, like what's your real motive? Because one, I'm hungry.
Right.
Right.
I don't play that.
One, I'm hungry. But there's something different. Don't keep asking me to drinks. Like literally, like multiple times, it's just been like cocktail bars, like no food, no live music, just like drinks.
Did you express that?
I didn't because I just got over it quick and I just haven't been texting him back.
Yeah, no, I don't play that. Do not take me out for drinks, and you're not feeding me.
But I'll be vocal
you
about
get cut off.
what I want to do.
Get cut off.
You mean on the date? Are we hungry?
Not on the date, but in some
afterward,
in some capacity, are we
I think by
expressing?
day 3 you need to be expressing, but that's what she's saying. By then she's just over it because if it took you 2 dates to realize that you need to feed,
or you didn't realize, I had to tell you, and like, then I don't want to get drinks.
Then it's like I don't even want to say it.
Right. And Marquise, I did tell him if this is kind of addressing it. So he asked me for drinks, and I said, oh, I don't want to do that because one, I haven't had dinner, and blah blah blah, and then we're just like, okay, well maybe we'll meet next week.
Oh.
Okay. Well, then,
So
you also have to evaluate what he's looking for. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because he may not be looking for anything other than
drinks.
Drinks
And I'm having
drinks and ass.
And then that would be that. But you know, I
that's
think
how you cut off.
I-
So.
Right.
we
That's
gotta-
how you
we
go.
gotta
I
establish
didn't even
those
think
boundaries.
about it that way. I thought maybe the person was just being cheap. But you're
That
saying,
too.
you're
But
saying
drinks
it's
add
just-
up. Someone did bring up that mention, like, oh, maybe he just like it's cheap. But I'm like, I don't like cheap people either, so that's another turn off.
So then he
Right,
wasn't
but if
for you
his
anyway.
goal is his goal to just get to the end of the night
Yeah,
with
exactly.
his drinks,
That's
because
why
if
I'm
he's-
starting to feel.
Well, but if he schedules drinks at like 6, to me you're not looking necessarily to get something at the end of
Right,
the night
right.
because
Right.
that's mad
If
early.
you keep doing that,
No, we've
But
been
then you're
getting
not
drinks
feeding
about.
drinking
We've
from
been
6
getting
to
drinks.
12.
But then you're not feeding people.
Okay, maybe I'm giving this man a little bit, but I'm like, we have been getting drinks because with my schedule at work, his schedule at work, we were getting drinks around like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
So that was-
yeah.
and you kept doing
And
it.
he thought dinner was over.
That's
You know, but
different.
that was something that like you kind of like got yourself into, like agreeing to it. I'm saying like
Yeah, no,
The
she's down
first two
for it, but it's like
times, but
3
it's like, that was
times.
part of my schedule. Well, actually, we supposed to be a
it
little
was a
earlier.
part of your
and then-
schedule.
Yeah. But then after a while, I'm like, so then I said, oh, do you want to hang out on the weekend? Because we
Right.
keep hanging out during the
Oh,
weekend.
Well, maybe
Hint, hint.
Yeah, but just for some reason, and like then after
rewording your
second date,
want to hang out or let's go out and do something else than drink.
Right.
I think you have to express.
maybe let's
You
for
may
an
be right.
experiment.
Right.
We're an
You have
experiment.
to be really
Well, but
explicit with
at
guys
what
because
point,
sometimes
Marquise, at what point?
from the
After
very
date 1?
start.
Or
I know
before
that's
date 1?
right.
Because to me, date 1, it's okay for it to be drinks because I might not
Yeah.
want to spend time with you. I might not want to sit
Right,
with you.
but somewhere in between that date.
yeah.
Date 1 and date 2, as you're saying, is the line for expressing, hey, this time,
Yeah.
let's eat.
And somewhere in that day, I'm sure it comes up like I'd love to see you again, and
Yeah.
then you can slide it. Yeah, let's grab something to eat. It's something simple, you know what I mean? But like
Right.
until
It
you
doesn't always
put
come
it,
up.
make it come up.
Yeah.
You know.
But I would seem rude, like, nigga, I'm hungry. Like,
Right.
so I would expect you.
You see all
if
the
you
food
said I'm-
going by,
if-
but we just having drinks.
Right.
like,
Yeah.
if you.
Stomach growling.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's just my
4
stomach.
hours
Oh,
in.
oh,
4
Never
hours
mind.
in.
Or
That's my stomach.
or I'm not sure how open you are to it, but we're planning the next day.
See?
Ain't nothing wrong with
initiative.
that.
That is wrong. I
If
just
you
plan
like
the
him.
next- Have you guys ever taken a guy on a
the
date?
next day?
I think
Let's not.
Oh, you said you paid for that.
I've taken one guy on a date. Dang, he should feel like I'm on to one to go to the
So a
date.
Right.
guy who's only paid for your drinks 2 times, you would feel comfortable paying for their dinner and
Yeah,
drinks
I
the
don't
3rd
know.
time?
Yeah, no, maybe not.
I don't
No.
think so.
I don't know.
No, if a guy took me out like about 2, no, I usually wait for like 3 dates and then maybe the 4th one. I'm like, and I like him.
Yeah, you like them.
Oh, I got it.
Right.
But he's fed you in those 3.
Girl, I got to eat.
You ain't gonna feed him.
No.
I don't recommend that for women out here. Don't be feeding this man if he hasn't at least
No,
tried
he got
to
to
feed you
feed
once.
me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If that's what I'm saying. Like, I thought Marquise is a good perspective because maybe like you have to be a little bit more explicit. But for me, if you didn't think to like, oh, she might be hungry, she worked hard, she got all this stuff going on, let me take her and do something else.
It's 6
Maybe she don't
o'clock.
want to. Am I alcoholic to you? Like you just think I just want to drink
Right.
all the time?
I mean,
No, that's at least
guys
takes me
are
on.
simple-minded. Like we don't really,
Very.
you know, a lot of
That's
us,
the- that's
a
part of
lot
the
of guys aren't thinking about above and beyond,
Mhm.
especially if they don't feel like that's what you want. So I say explicit, like, oh, this is my standard, this is what I want, and these are my goals. Are you with it or are you not? And then from there you can tell like, oh well, if you're not with it, then you're not the guy for me.
Right.
And then you kill all that extra 2, 3, 4
Unnecessary,
days.
yeah.
It's just so interesting because to me the drinks only thing is a rare phenomenon versus what I typically see,
I've
which is
never
that
heard of
there is food involved.
Well, you
Yeah.
never heard of the drink, so that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. It's rare.
No, I have to eat more.
So I don't think it's that men are simple because most men feed you. We're talking about these specific random situations where they were like, let's get drinks like twice. That's weird.
I've been dating for like I was in a relationship for a while, so this is my first time getting back out there. So I was like, is this kind of the norm? That's what I was trying to figure out.
It may be
Like,
the norm for
What
that
we were
person.
talking about, this laziness, this
Mhm.
like not wanting to put
Right.
in effort. It's a reason why I would lose interest very
Me
quickly.
And another thing for me, I don't know, this is another question I've kind of been having now that I've kind of been testing the waters. Is it always just food and drinks? Like maybe take me sailing or like
Yeah.
take me.
Well, that's when somebody gets extra points. Like,
Yeah.
you're being
Come on, I'm tired of eating and drinking too. Like, let's eat first. Let's always eat. Let's always eat.
But it goes back to this.
But like, let's go to the orchestra.
This New York thing and like having time to do those types of things. Like so much is happening in my day to day. Like by the time I sit down, it's like Sunday night. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't.
No, you trying to go to
that single life. But like for somebody looking for a partner and looking for
But do you know that they're looking for that?
Right, I'm saying if they are, that's one way they show it.
First of all, let's be clear. I'm not going on a date with anybody unless we spoke about this first. Because I'm not wasting my time.
Me too.
Oh, you talk about what are your intentions right away?
Yes, I do too.
Oh, yeah.
If we're going on a date,
I do too.
you know, we just
if
we just out here playing.
What's your 5-year plan?
But if we, you know, we talking about like going on like dating, going on a date, and I'm gonna give you my time. I need to know, what you're looking for.
Your 5-year
precious. You can't get that time back.
Anything, whatever. What you doing? What you looking for? Oh, you looking for a good time? Oh, I'm not your good time. Now, if I'm looking for a good time, let's go. But if not,
a lot of them aren't gonna come out. A lot of them aren't gonna come out and say that though because they know what the right answer is.
No, they know how to say it.
But you got it.
They know how to say it without saying the word.
But that's what I'm saying. They may not say it, but you sound like you're at the point where you can tell by their actions, and that's the giveaway because somebody might be saying, "Yeah, I'm looking to be with somebody," but if they're not calling when they say they're gonna call, if they're not making the effort to see you, if they're flirting with
they can give you the answer
when you go out, if they're you know not telling the truth, you get there's a lot of ways to tell, and you can tell very quickly because they trip up very quickly,
very fast
when they're not about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah. So, Leah, why are you single? we skip over that. I feel like I skip over that. Bring it back.
That was good. That was good.
Ooh, I'm hot.
God.
They turn the heat off on the weekend. This is. I'm not hoping.
Go on, take a drink. Go on, take a drink.
I'm not hoping.
Go on, take a drink, sis.
Bro, it's real deep. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'm trying to figure out, am I too idealistic? But I feel like I have this idea of who my partner is going to be, and I haven't met that person.